Fascism boasts of being purely a man's movement. You quickly will see that fascism hates women, fascism despises women, fascism fears women. Nearly 90 years ago, Swedish writer Sonja Branting warned women about fascism's war on their rights, and her warning, of course, feels unsettlingly familiar today. The task of women is to be beautiful and to give birth to children for men, cries Goebbels. In Nazi Germany, girls were trained in youth leagues to become housewives and mothers for the nation. Today, there's a similar script repackaged. In our feeds, there's the trad wife, all throughout TikTok and Instagram, glamorizing submission, homemaking, and domestic life as the natural role of all women. And it's starting to look suspiciously like Branting's 1936 warning. Over 600,000 women have been forced out of their professions, out of their life work, and pushed back into the kitchens or onto the streets. Branting described how fascists erased women from professions and forced them back into the home. And today we see similar things in how employers still police women's work. But of course, there's not always some sort of legal paper trail to follow. Here in the United States, depending on where you are, there's pressure to look and behave a certain way if you're a woman. A future German empire will never accept a woman without children. Under fascism, citizenship was tied to motherhood. And today, abortion is banned in 12 US states. Alabama's Supreme Court even ruled that frozen embryos count as children, pausing IVF treatments until lawmakers scramble to respond. The state, once again, is deciding what a woman's body must be for, even with rising infertility rates. The demand for a purely physical perfection by this unfortunate, deformed man. Branting mocked fascist obsession with women's looks. Today, U.S. schools and workplaces still dictate appearance. Districts in Texas ban head coverings and certain hairstyles, disproportionately punishing girls, Muslim students, and black students. Dress and grooming codes are very political. At first, all women's organizations were dissolved. Fascists crushed independent women's groups. Now in the US, political attacks have been targeting feminist and queer organizations, defunding equality programs, and rolling back protections. Every woman, every fighter for the rights of women and equality must be appalled and enraged. Branting's words were a serious warning. Fascism always narrows women's choices in work, in family, in appearances. So the faces may change, the platforms may shift, but a pattern and method remains. And that means our resistance to it must remain too.